What's up, everybody? This is Cameron. Now, listen, what we're going to go over today is basic fly fishing items that you need to get you out, get on the water, and get fishing the boat. What I'm going to tell you is, as a new fly fisherman, I did not start out with the fanciest gear. I did not start out with the most expensive fly rods. To be honest with you, today, I don't even have a very expensive fly rod. Why? Because me personally, I'm out on creeks. I'm out in the woods. I don't want to trip and fall and break a nice fly rod. But you can get some really good deals and some really good fly rods for a budget price that works great. The reason I'm doing this is because I want you to have a grocery list of items that you can go in, you can look at, and you can decide what's best for you, and it's all right in one place. So let me show you what we're looking at. So the first item that we have that I'm going to talk about is the fly rod. Now, there's a lot of options out there for fly rods, but this is what we're looking at today. This is the Aventik Extreme Fly Fishing Combo. This is a kit. This kit comes with the fly reel, the fly rod, a case, which is very, very important. Don't underestimate the power of a case, because fly rods are very delicate. They can break very easily. Actually, it also comes with a few flies. It comes with a few odd and ends. This is a 9-foot, 3/4 weight fly rod. What that means is that you're going to be fishing with 3 and 4 weight leaders. We're going to get into that here in a few minutes. So this fly rod is a great beginner fly rod. Like I said, it's all about getting on the water and learning. This is a good learner fly rod. So next item you're going to need is you're going to need some flies. So what we're looking at here is just a basic fly box. Now, are these the most expensive flies? No, but this is a kit that you can get for $31.99. It comes with 100 flies that you can get out there and start catching fish. Now, depends on the species of fish that you're fishing for. I fish for bluegill, bass. I don't really do much fly fishing for trout and other species because of my location. If you're up north and you're going to be fishing for trout or something like that, or if you're at the ocean or on the coast and you're fishing for redfish and sea trout, then these flies may not be the right set for you. But what you can do is go in and look up what flies are best for you, and based on the type of fish that you're fishing for. This here is a great box for getting into fishing for bluegill, which if you're here in the United States, there's bluegill about everywhere, and this is a really good box to get you in to catching fish and learning how to use your fly rod. This fly kit has foam dry flies, ant hotspot, it has white wing flies, red tails, a bumblebee fly, which I will say in the springtime on sunny days when you see a lot of bumblebees or honeybees or wasps on the water, you take this fly, dip it into your fly floating, which we're going to get into next, and it really rides good on top of the water. I've used this fly before. It does really good. You got a beaded nymph. Now the beaded nymphs, that's a fly that will not float. It sinks. So this fly does really good on those hot summer days when it's really, really bright outside, and you want to get that fly down to those fish that's hanging out in that lower water column because they don't want to be in the sunshine. This is a fly that you can use. The elk hair caddis. Now, an elk hair caddis is an iconic fly. It does wonders when you are fishing that early morning bite, especially with a little bit of moving water. It can be a dry fly. I fished it dry. I've also fished it wet. It does really good on both sides. If you're running wet, then you're going to have to use a fly floated. Of course, you have to really soak it down and keep that fly with the floated on it. But it does really good. It has some wet flies, which wet flies is flies that sink. It has copper john, red nymph, olive nymph, pink nymph, and nano nymph. So these are some of the patterns that you have. You have multiple patterns. Some of these flies are in a hook number 10. The others is hook number 14. So it's got a good variety, and this is what I've used in the past. It works great for me. If you think that this is something that some flies that you want to get into, go ahead. Now, what I will say is there's a lot of different patterns of flies out there. This is a starter kit to get you into learning how to use them because they're cheap, they're inexpensive, and you can buy a bunch of them because let me tell you, when you start fly fishing, you're going to lose flies. There's no doubt about it. The more you do it, the better you get at keeping those flies on the line. But as you're learning to cast, you're gonna lose flies, and that's okay. That's a part of the learning process. Don't get frustrated. Just keep going. The next product that you're gonna need is a fly dip or a fly floated. There's a lot of different fly floatants out there, and to be honest with you, they all do the same thing. However, some do it better than others. What I have found is I like Loon Outdoors. They have this is a fly dip, which is a liquid. It does a lot better. There's some powders you can get. There's also some gels. The gel, it works great when you're dealing with a fly that's already dry and you put the gel on and then you fish. However, with me, what I've found is a lot of times I'll fish that fly, and then this starts to sink. Well, what I can do is I can do some false casts and then dip it in this Loon fly dip, and that flies right back on top of that water column. I really like this. I've tried several others. I know there's some different name brands out there. You've got Flyagra, you've got Gink. There's some different name brands out there that you can buy, but this is what I use, so this is what I recommend. And also, the way to use this is when you're fishing with your dry flies or your elk hair caddis or something like that. You're going to take that fly, you're going to pull it out of your bag, and you're going to go ahead and dip it in this. And do a couple of false casts, or if you're in an area where you can't false cast, what I do is I'll take that fly, hold my line, dip it in, and then rotate it in the air. What that does is that causes airflow to go around it, and it'll dry that fly dip on that fly to keep that water from penetrating. That way you don't have to do the false cast, because listen, sometimes where I fish at, we have a lot of overhanging limbs, overhanging brush, and there's false casting is not an option, because a lot of what I have to do is roll casting, and you'll learn that. I'm also going to give you some tips and some places where you can go on YouTube and they can help you learn how to fly fish. I'm gonna try to put links in the description to those YouTubers, and one of them is Mad River Outfitters. Mad River Outfitters is how I learned to fly fish. They're a great bunch of guys. They have a lot of different techniques or a lot of different videos on different techniques on how to fly fish. Orvis Guide to Fly Fishing is another great. It's a great YouTube channel. You're talking about some high quality video, they've got it. These are professional fly shops that shows people how to fly fish. I'm going to try to link those channels in my description so you can watch them and you can learn how to fly fish. So now that I've got off that tangent, let's get back to what we're talking about. So the next thing we're going to talk about is leaders. Some of you may have been fishing with rod and reel, as far as like a spinning reel. There's a difference between fly fishing and regular spinning reel fishing. The difference is that on your spinning reel setup, what you do when you throw your line, you're actually throwing the weight of the bait or the lure that you're using. However, on a fly line, you're actually casting the line, because you have a weighted line that's forward weighted that allows that line to fly off that rod. So because of that, you have to have a leader. Now, there's a lot of different leaders that is out there. I like Rio. These are the ones I use. This is a Rio Powerflex. It is a trout leader. It's about an 8-pound test. I use a 4-weight. It's a 9-foot leader. The next thing you're going to need is a tackle box to put all this stuff in. Me personally, I'm not a gear guy. I'm a functionality guy. I look at, okay, what do I need to go to the creek and not lose the stuff that I have with me? What I have here is a KastKing fishing bag. It's a tackle bag, and it has a lot of different compartments. There's a lot of different options out there. I'm not a fanny pack guy. A lot of the fly fishermen, they wear a fanny pack. That's not my style. Maybe yours. They work great. They're not very big. They're bulky. They're not bulky. They stick close to the body, so they're not getting you all tied up with it. This is what I use. Now, not this exact brand, because I bought mine years ago, but basically this is exactly what I use. If I was going to update my bag, this is what I would purchase. Let's get into nets and accessories. So you've watched some of my videos, or if you haven't, hey, go check them out. I don't really use a net. I don't know, a lot of the fish that I catch are bluegill size fish, and you could just scoop them out of the water. If you're fishing for trout, a trout is a fish that you really need a net. If you're gonna be trout fishing, you need a net, because a trout is they're very difficult fish to get on the shore. I don't know why. They're slippery. They're different. Bluegill, you can pull them right up. They have a different mouth structure. So a net is something that I recommend, especially if you're fishing for a larger species of fish. On this setup here, it comes with a net, nippers, and a few lanyards where you can hook to your vest or hook to your belt. It comes with, it's a really nice little multi-tool that comes with this combo. Let's get into medical pliers. So these medical pliers is something that I recommend to anybody who's fishing with small hooks. Fly fishing, you're using a lot of smaller hooks, a lot of small flies, and the fish, let's face it, they're trying to eat. So you're going to get some deep hook sets if you're not careful. And when you get those deep hook sets, you want to be able to get that hook out of that fish without hurting the fish. These medical grade pliers, they're long, and when you have a long plier, you can actually get down in that fish's mouth and pop that hook out, and it's a lot quicker, it's a lot safer for the fish. Now, in some past videos, I've used everything from a stick off the side of the river to reach in there and get that out, but this is a more professional way to do it. If you have it, if I have it with me, I'm going to use these over a stick on the creek. But they're a really good tool to have, and when you have these little lanyards that they have with this kit, you can just snap it on there, put it on your side, and just let them hang, or put them in your pocket. That way you don't lose stuff. So this little kit that I'm looking at here, this is a fly fishing tool kit. I'm probably going to purchase this. And is this an absolute necessity for fly fishing? Absolutely not. You don't have to have this. But if you're going to get into the hobby and you want to keep your fish from getting hurt or keep from killing fish, this is a pretty good thing to have. Next thing we're going to look at is fly fishing strike indicators. This is something that, as a new fly fisherman, as a beginner, when you're nymph fishing, when you're using your wet flies, these are really good to have, because as you fish, you will learn how to look at your line and tell when you're getting that strike based on how your line moves. But as a beginner, you're not used to seeing that. That's something new, and that's a learned skill that you're going to have to pick up over time to be able to know when to set that hook. When you are fishing with a strike indicator, you see the bobber, it goes under, you set your hook. Okay, yeah, that's easy. So as a beginner, this is going to save your fish. It's going to keep those deep hook sets from happening as often. And shoot, even now, sometimes I will throw on one, especially if I'm fishing swift water, because I can monitor where my fly is, so I can mend my line. So these are really good to have. They're not very expensive, so I put those on here. Next thing we're going to get into is tippet. If you have just a straight line that's not tapered on the end of your fly line, or a tapered lead you have a leader that's not tapered on the end of a fly line, your fly is going to just pop the top of the water and cause a lot of water disturbance. You're going to get wind knots. With a tapered leader, it helps you burn off that excess energy from the whip, and it don't cause the whipping effect. What I use is a Rio Tippet. This is a 4X. It's a 7-pound leader, or a 7-pound tippet. I'm going to throw this on there. This is something that you need. You're also going to need to learn to tie your tippet on. And I've done some videos in the past on it. But again, go to those guys. They make better videos than me, because I'm about you learning how to fly fish. And I want you to know, and I want you to enjoy the sport. So I'm willing to say, hey, go to this guy. He's got a better video than I can make, and learn how to fly fish. How much does it cost to get set up on the water? This list of items comes out to a total of, as of right now, if I was purchasing it right now on Amazon, it may be cheaper if you have Amazon Prime. It's $305 for starting a new hobby. It's not really that expensive. I know guys who spends more than that on a new firearm. So everything you do has an expense, but it depends on what you want to do. If you want to get into something, it's a challenge. It's fun. This is something that once you learn how to do this, I'm pretty sure you're going to really enjoy it. I know I have. If this is something that you want to get into, $305, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on if you have Amazon Prime or not. This is something you can get into for not a whole lot of investment. So, also, you can pick and choose what you want. You don't have to buy everything. Of course, if you bought everything that I mentioned today, that would be the price according to when this video is made. However, get out there, go fishing, learn a new skill, get out of the house, get off the screens, get out and enjoy nature. The good Lord put us on this earth to enjoy His creation. Get out there and do it. Thank y'all for watching, and if y'all got some value out of this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share it to somebody you know, because I am trying to build a community of people who loves fishing, who loves outdoors, and I want to help y'all better yourselves in the hobbies that you have. Thank you. See y'all in the next one. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and there's going to be a link in the description to all the items that I am talking about today.